Yes, you are too fat, you're too old, and it's too late. Now get over yourself and move on.
Welcome to Panties and Pastries, conversations worth savoring. Join us as we discuss what we carry on stage, off stage, and in everyday life. In this consent forward space, there is no pressure to perform, only to be present. I'm your host, Lavish the Jewel. Let's indulge. Moxie, how are you showing up today? As a producer, as a mother, as a performer?
I think all of it is combined. As a performer, as a producer, I always think about the space that I'm creating for my performers because I want to treat them like I would expect to be treated in the green room, before and after the show, during the show. So I show up as both. When my daughter is performing, I'm also there as a mother. What's funny is I've been in spaces like Show Them Burlesque, where I've done stage management, and other shows where I've been backstage and people call me mother. So I guess you could say I show up as all three, depending on the venue and the people and where I am at the time.
We always start with our first bite.
Okay.
So you have described yourself as a little sweet and a little spicy, like chili chocolate.
Yes.
So which parts of you are sweetest right now and which parts are still a little spicy?
I think what's sweetest is just showing up, being myself, also showing up for others. I work hard to create venues and spaces that people feel comfortable in, which is challenging right now. So I think that's the sweet part, is just being present for people and creating that space for people. The spicy part comes in when people don't treat others well, when people have expectations of me that are, no, I am not there for you for that.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been producing shows now for almost 7 years, and I've typically been doing a show a month, sometimes 2 shows a month, depending on venues. People have an expectation that they should be in my shows, and that's not always the case. I work really hard to have a space where everybody is represented. So I have a lot of BIPOC performers, I have a lot of fat body performers, and everything in between. So people that are what are considered the norm these days, whatever that means anymore, society's norm, not our norm.
Right.
Then it's that expectation of, well, I deserve a spot on your stage. It's like, do you? Why? Why do you deserve a spot on my stage?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Mhm.
Community can be rough sometimes.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be there for each other, and sometimes we aren't. Sometimes we're there for ourselves. Sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be there for yourself. Like, I am trying really hard to learn what is my capacity, because I tend to overdo and overachieve. It's, firstborn child, firstborn grandchild, Virgo, all of those things combined. So that's where the sweet spicy comes in, because there's so many expectations put on you as the firstborn girl in the family, having the first grandchild that is a girl in the family, her being the youngest. It can be a challenge because people put these expectations on you from all of these different spaces.
Yeah. Sounds like you've had to kind of go through a lot of evolution in your life. And you've
Yeah.
been really vocal about the evolution of Moxie Blue.
Yes.
And at this point, who was Moxie Blue when you first stepped out of Miss Indigo Blues Academy of
Oh my
Burlesque?
goodness.
And who is Moxie Blue now?
It's so interesting because I had chosen a different name and somebody said, oh, you can't do that. There's a retired DJ in Florida. Like, okay, fine. So I worked hard to find what is a word or a name that I want to describe who I want to be. So choosing the name Moxie was a conscious choice to become Moxie.
That's great.
Yeah,
Right.
just doing it. I'm
Yeah.
just going to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
I graduated in February 2019, tried to get into shows, decided to start producing on my own in July of that year because there wasn't space. So I was like, well, damn it, I'm going to create space for fat-bodied, older, BIPOC, non-cis, anything, and I say that purposefully, that wasn't always allowed on a stage or was sidelined into a small, like, spare space. So that was kind of the evolution, and it has continued. It's now, when I created Moxie, I didn't realize what an impact it would have on my own personal life and not just my performer life. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how you evolve and how it's like being a burlesque performer and producer as Moxie Blue has now allowed me to accept and be who I really am and not have to hide it as a woman in business.
I love women in business.
Right? But that's what's so interesting, because we've always had to, oh, what would you think if we did this? And then let the man go, oh, I thought this idea would be great. Oh, it is. You're so smart. And having to take that step back, being Moxie and having that evolution has now said, no, I own this. This is mine. And I'm going to keep saying it until you hear me and you understand that this is important.
Yeah. I love that. You have said that you kind of view a lot of your acts with modern music, but telling something of an older story. And why did you think it was important to actively display the older woman reclaiming passion, reclaiming younger partners, reclaiming herself?
I think you see it in a lot of the actors today. When you look at like Jamie Lee Curtis and Julia Roberts, once they hit a certain age, they were considered no longer attractive. And so it was harder for them to get parts. And the parts they did get were kind of, a sideline, the mom or, the aunt or somebody. And they weren't allowed to be on screen and be in love and show passion. And I think that's changing. And so for me, it's the same thing. It's just because I am a certain age doesn't mean that I don't still have things I want. And, men are allowed to still be sexy when they're into their 60s and 70s. Women are too. And it's about time people realize that and recognized it.
Yeah. I don't know where like men get to be silver foxes and women have to be old hens.
Right? It's like, oh, I have gray sideburns. You must be old. It's like, no, I'm distinguished just like a man.
Yeah, I'm fine wine. I'm aging
Right.
and you'll never taste me.
Yeah. Too bad.
Your first act was an ode to your breast cancer survival. How do you think you're viewed by other thrivers in the audience when they see you so out and proud about the things that you've overcome? And why is that important for you?
It's not just other breast cancer thrivers, and I use that word purposefully, but anybody who has scars or feel they're disfigured in some way, because it shows that you've lived, right? It shows that you have made it through whatever happened to you, and that you don't have to be less of yourself because you have a scar, you had something removed, you had a breast removed or whatever. It doesn't diminish who you are. And so for me, doing that the very first time, that act was a way to really reclaim myself and my body. It was being older, losing a breast, having it reconstructed, which took me, a good 6 years to decide I wanted to do that. And then just saying, okay, no, this is my body. This is what it is. This is what it looks like. And you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, totally.
But
Yeah.
other thrivers in the audience, I've had so many people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to see myself in you. Which is really a compliment. Don't tell me I'm brave, because that's BS. But thank you for allowing me to help you see yourself again and who you are and who you can be. And I think in a lot of ways, that is who my persona is portraying, is allowing you to be who you want to be, but you're afraid to be because a scar or something's missing or you're older or you're fat. No, you're you. You are absolutely marvelous. It's hard. Our bodies change and it's so frustrating to watch it.
Yeah.
Right. And, starting in December, we're all inundated with these ads for weight loss and be your best self and you should be skinny. And it's like, why? Because somebody in society says we should be? No, I am who I am. And this is what my body looks like right now. And I may lose a few pounds here and there. I may gain a few pounds here and there. But this is my body and this is what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah. The ever-changing body.
Right?
Ever-changing body.
Yes.
You created Fat Bottom production because
Yes.
it was difficult for an older fat femme to
Mhm.
find a booking.
Yep.
To find a booking with the paycheck she deserves.
Yep.
Knowing that, what is something that you want audiences to take away from a fat bottom production when they see the variation and myriad of beauty that you put on stage on purpose?
It was funny. I did a show last night and somebody said, I don't know why you call it fat bottom. There weren't any fat bottoms. Those were just beautiful people on that stage. And I thought, you got it. You got it. So fat bottom comes from the Queen song, Fat Bottom Girls.
Absolutely.
And I really adore Queen, and that song is just so much fun. And so that's where I took the name from. And it's like, yeah, I got, as somebody called it, cake. 3 cheers. You're welcome.
Wedding cake.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's gorgeous. When people come to my shows, I want them to see themselves represented on stage, not just in their body, but also in who they want to be or how they want to present themselves. You know, so whether it's Nerdlesque and we're up there doing a Star Trek or Star Wars or Trek Wars, as we call it here, show, or somebody's coming in as a lobster, you know, or somebody's doing a beautiful tease on stage, I want people to say, wow, that was beautiful. I loved that representation. This was so much fun. I want to come back. To me, it's almost as important to have my audience enjoy and want to come back as it is for my performers to say, that was great. I want to come back.
Yeah. And so, what do you wish venues understood about burlesque?
Oh my goodness. Right now, it is so hard. Drag is awesome. Drag queens can be amazing. They can also be a lot. You can edit that part out if you need to. And in Seattle, we are blessed with so many incredible drag queens. All of the venues will book more drag shows because they feel that will bring in more money. And that is the thing. And so people go to those shows and they spend a lot of money because they want to see RuPaul's Drag Race on stage.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's very hard for us as burlesque performers to be able to get in and do a show in a venue that already has drag shows because they don't see it as important or as bringing in as much revenue or as attractive to a wider range of people. My shows all have drag queens, kings, things, burlesque performers, boylesque performers, comedians. So you'll see a range in my shows, and I do that on purpose because it's fun, first of all. And it's also a way to bring in a crowd that may not have been exposed to a burlesque performer or a boylesque performer, and to see that there is that range. But it's frustrating. It's just like, we can bring in just as many people and just as much, and we're more fun. And we're not as catty.
That there's a way that burlesque could end up more mainstream. Since we're talking about drag, we have Drag Race, we have, Dragula, we have all of these different avenues that people can kind of funnel into drag. Do you think that is something that is possible for burlesque? And if so, how?
That's a tough one. I think a lot of people had hoped that Burlesque, the movie with Sharon Christine, was going to be kind of our gateway into having it more mainstream. I think people see some of these shows that come through town that have high production value and, 6 skinny white girls and 1 skinny Black person. That's, oh my gosh, that was so cool. That's burlesque. And it's not. Those are Vegas shows, right? That's not what burlesque is. And I think people have forgotten what burlesque is because it is not in the forefront as much. I don't think having a drag race style burlesque show is it. I think Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender is kind of that.
Yeah.
Just not as catty and obnoxious at times.
I'll edit out. I'll edit that part out. Yeah. So the future is in variety.
I think the future is in variety, and it is being able to bring in people that can attract different people, different crowds, different people that have not seen that before or that before. And now they're coming in and they're going, oh, wait, that is what burlesque is? Oh, wait, that's what drag kings do? Oh my goodness. Like, I just have to do a side note. The first time I saw you as a drag king, it was you and Leo and one other person, and I can't remember it. I remember turning around and going, oh my goodness, I am married. Oh my goodness. And people don't understand that. It's just like, oh, be still my heart. Be still my heart.
If someone listening is saying, I'm too old, I'm too fat, it's too late, what do you want them to savor about themselves right now?
Yes, you are too fat, you're too old, and it's too late. Now get over yourself and move on. Because really, it's like that I'm too fat, I'm too old, it's too late is a mantra that has been told to us. It's not our reality. And so we've been told this, and so we believe it. Right? I thought I'm too old to do this when I signed Pat and I up for Academy of Burlesque. It's like, I'm just doing this for my kid. I'm just doing this so they can be in more plays and things. And then I found out I was really having a good time. And it was so much fun. I didn't know that once I got on stage, I'd want to keep doing it. But that's okay. There are people that get on that stage because they just feel they have to prove something to themselves. And I think that's a perfect thing to do. If you get on that stage once and you say, okay, I did it. I can be that person. I can be sexy. I'm not too fat. I'm not too old. And it's not too late. Whether you ever perform again, that's up to you. But you had fun and you decided to take life the way you wanted to take it and not by what somebody else has told us.
I love that.
It's hard though. You know, we're inundated with these messages that you're old. Like, yeah.
So?
Right? Oh, you're fat. Yeah.
Probably.
You're not that skinny yourself.
Isn't that the kicker?
Right. It is. And it's like, I don't know. We're given all of these messages from such a young age, especially female born people. We're just inundated with these messages. And it's like, why does society feel that certain types of people have to be a certain way? It's frustrating. We've evolved as humans, you would think. There are still femme bosses that are out there that are still being shot down and shut down because they are who they are. It's crazy.
It's time for the last bite. In a male-centered world, and burlesque being perceived as a female-dominated industry, what are you protective of most right now?
The space. The space for people to be who they are. You know, it's funny because in my show yesterday, we started off by showing The Lady of Burlesque, which is a 1943 movie starring Barbara Stanwyck that was based on a book written in 1940 by Gypsy Rose Lee. And it is such an interesting look at what burlesque and vaudeville was back then. And in some ways, we haven't evolved past that. But there are others that are working to get us past that. It is a cabaret. It is a vaudeville show. It is more than just women on stage taking off their clothes. It is people up here showing you a different part of themselves, telling a story, saying this is what it's like to be free and be real. This is what it's like to be me and be what you could be if you wanted to own that and take that. But it's hard because we will always have men with their fragile little egos that feel they need to be front and center. And at some point, it will change. It is slowly changing, but sometimes not fast enough. We'll get there. That's my hope. So what I'm protective of is the spaces that I create for the people that I create them for.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Until our next bite.
Thank you for joining us for Panties and Pastries. Remember to stay soft, stay honest, and keep indulging. Until our next bite.